Welcome back to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. I'm here with co-hosts
Stan Morancini
and Watson Bradshaw.
And I am Chad Cook.
Hi, Chad Cook.
Hello.
Hi. How are ya?
How you guys been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going, you know.
Yeah.
It's going. We decided to get together and do an episode because we want to talk about a few things that we did about a little over a week ago, and some of the stuff that's been recently released. I figured we should get together and talk about it.
Chit chat away.
Chit chat. First things first, we went to Pasadena Comic Con.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
To promote our booth. Our second year there. It was fairly interesting.
Yeah, I gotta thank everyone out that came out and said hi, and just thank you guys for showing up and showing out and giving us some love. And I think we got some new followers. Chad, now we're going to talk about history of cartoons. So, what's your history lesson of the day?
That they used to be used for World War II propaganda.
That's right.
It's true.
I mean, yeah.
Bugs Bunny used to shoot Nazis.
It's true.
Yeah, Donald Duck. We won't dwell on that.
Sold some war bonds.
Yeah, they did.
But Pasadena Comic Con was interesting. We had a booth set up.
We're listening. We're listening to the crowd and what they have to say.
Yeah, we had a booth
We know what
set
you
up.
want.
We had giveaway items. We had water bottles with our logo on it, pins, stickers, and we had some other smaller raffle. The year before that, Pasadena Comic Con, we had a much bigger booth. We slimmed down a little bit this time. We had a much bigger raffle.
Yeah, they put us in the Artist Alley area, which was a little offshoot of the main hall.
Yeah.
So we had it was nice. Like we had some nice flow in there.
Good traffic.
Good traffic. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for everyone again for coming by, participating, and getting a raffle ticket.
Yep.
And thanks for not getting scared. Walking away, making eye contact with me. Like I'm some monster.
Like happened last time. You mean? Yeah. Well, we didn't see that kid this year.
He wasn't there.
Yeah, he'll probably be in NostalgiaCon.
He's at a gym right now, just getting real buff, and then coming back
with his pepper spray. If you talk to him at NostalgiaCon, he's just gonna hit you.
I've been practicing eating peppery foods and rubbing my eyes. So in case I make another toy suggestion for him, I'll be ready.
He came up to our booth,
and
asked us stuff,
and
then he looked at you like you were crazy, and then he walked away.
But you guys had a fun experience at the con that I was jealous about because you guys both came back with signed scripts.
Oh yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So like one of the booths that was there, it was the original. It was one of the original. From the original show in 97, not the 97 X-Men that we have now, but the 97, the X-Men from the original 1997.
Yeah.
So, it's a little confusing.
If that isn't confusing enough. So
exactly.
The original Fox
show
animated series.
from the 90s.
95.
From the 95, yeah.
And on, or whatever.
Yeah, so we had one of the booths there was the original showrunners.
Yes.
That were there, and it was pretty dope. So Eric Lewald was there, and he was one of the original showrunners. And they were just there promoting, their work. They were there promoting.
And they have a new book, right?
They had a new book that they put out.
Yeah.
And it was it was actually a pretty nice booth that they had set up. They were giving away some pins. They were also selling, which I have here in my hand. It's a copy of The Night of the Sentinels Part 1 and 2. It was. Him, Eric Lewald, and Julie Lewald, who were both some executive producers and writers on the show. We got to speak to them. We bought a copy of Night of the Sentinels Part 1 and 2 that they signed.
And you guys got previously on
X-Men pins that they were selling at the booth, but they handed them to us.
I regret not going for the hats because I have an old hat from when I met them before. And it was a little small. I don't know. The new ones look a little bit better or something like that. So I think next time I run to them, I'll try and grab one of those. But
they were at the Perky Nerd back in the day.
Yeah.
They showed up and did a day there.
I bought their making of the series book.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
But the new book was more.
It's much more in depth.
Well, no. Well, I would say the new book covers more images and artwork, and a lot of the cells like they got access to scan and load them or be able to put them in their book and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I would love to chat with them about because last time I saw them was at Perky Nerd, and we talked a little bit about the series and what it means and like how the stories that they wrote specifically for the cartoon kind of it's kind of like the Batman animated series with those stories kind of influencing the cinema version of what we see, and this was all pre X-Men 97. So I would love to talk to them about where they are now and how they see their projects back in the day and comparatively,
No, definitely.
Yeah, it's they were a great conversation that we had with them. They were very very responsive to Chad and I.
Yeah.
And I think that I told you guys this before, but I think that people who worked on stuff, in the 90s and the 80s when we were coming up, when we were kids, I think they really appreciate when the generation that they help shape, which is us, the millennials, and to an extent Gen X, they really appreciate it when we tell them, thank you for what you did.
Yeah.
You really helped to shape us to the adults we are nowadays. Our morals and our values were really shaped as much as your work as by our parents who brought us up.
And thinking about like when they were coming out with this, when they were coming out with X-Men, like there was no comic book media was not cool, right? Like it was in the shadows, like in cons. You weren't seeing people walking around in like Wolverine shirts or anything like that.
Nerd was a derogatory term.
It was an uphill battle, I'm sure, to make a show of this quality and doing stuff with a media like animation that wasn't really done. Like this was like, a serialized show where like, okay, we're doing storylines in multiple parts. When most shows were like, okay, it's a one and done storyline, so that you could rerun them in whatever order you wanted. You know, so I mean, I love that, and then I give them all the praise for what they were able to accomplish.
Yeah, and the writing was very solid. It's based on the comic books, but it was still. It still had the message of what Stan Lee set out to write, which is it's a metaphor for the civil rights movement. It's a metaphor for racism. And what they did in that show, to those very wide audience of young kids who we saw these stories and we understood what they were trying to tell us.
And they didn't try dumbing down the story.
No.
They didn't try dumbing down any of the stuff with the Friends of Humanity stuff.
Exactly.
They were very much like, no, this is deals with race. It deals with discrimination.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they also worked on Exo Squad, which is another one of my just absolutely just favorite. It still gets me to this day. And I told them about a very touching moment on Exo Squad towards the end of the first season. Exo Squad is about these soldiers who fight in these mech suits that connect directly to their cerebral cortex, and that's the only way the Exo Squads can talk to the pilots. And at one point, JT Marsh, who's the leader of this squad that's caught up in this war between the humans and Neo-Sapiens who have rebelled against the humans. His E-frame, his exo-frame is damaged, so he has to disconnect from it. But he's at the top of this volcano, and he jumps out of it. And as the E-frame is falling into the volcano, he says goodbye. He says goodbye, old girl, and the E-frame says goodbye, Lieutenant J.T. Marsh. And he gets emotional. And he's like, oh my God, it talked to me. My E-frame talked to me. I wasn't plugged in, and it talked to me. It's not supposed to be able to do that.
They're still connected.
It's still connected. And I remember thinking that, and I was telling them the story. I started getting emotional when I was telling the story, and they're like, they appreciated that it after all these years that I still remember it.
Yeah. And
Julie DeWall was like, it meant something to you, right? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And she's like, well, yeah, see, so that's what we set out to do. And it was amazing because I obviously I don't have any kids, so I don't know what kind of medium kids are watching nowadays. But to me, it seems like it's very dumbed down. It seems like it's more about like, oh, don't hurt the kid, don't of course don't hurt the kids, but like don't offend them and don't hurt their feelings. And it seems like Paw Patrol is in some other shows I've seen. I'm sure they're all very educational, they're all great, but it does seem like they kind of toe a line of like make it safe and a safe space for kids. Whereas the stuff that we grew up on was life isn't fair.
Shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens. Life isn't fair. But even if it's because it's not fair, you shouldn't turn into an asshole yourself.
Yeah.
Like, be a good guy.
Yeah.
And look what bad guys do. To them, the ends always justify the means. The means always justify the ends. So don't be like them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in our media that we were growing up was wars, conflicts, heartbreak, loss, but I never found any problem with that because it turned us into, I think, more productive adults, and it also helped us understand that, like we said, shit happens, but even if shit happens, you can keep going. It's fine. Yeah. You'll get over it, and it'll make you a stronger person. You know. So, and I really appreciate that they didn't dumb anything down for us as kids. That they showed us that, you know, through solid writing and through metaphors that you'll be okay. To an extent. So, but yeah, I really appreciated seeing them, and they were very receptive. And I asked them to come on the podcast. They said they'd love to. I sent them an email. Hopefully they get back to us at sometime soon.
Oh my God.
That
would be great.
That would be great to have them on. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very passionate about their work, and that, you know, you don't see it too often nowadays. So it was good to see, and as we were talking to them, that they were so lively and upbeat about it. So, you know, it's always great to talk to creators and that who are still so engaged with their audience and product. I mean, work.
And it's got to feel good for people, you know, because they're now like a lot of people that worked on stuff when we were kids are probably in their 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And so it's got to feel good to have people coming up who were kids when they were putting this stuff out and telling them like, thank you, you made a difference to me, and you helped shape me. It's got to feel good.
Because I mean, nowadays, if you put something out there, there's almost instant gratification because of the internet, because of Twitter. Like, people be like, oh, I love that show, I love that bit. You know, I think back then they had no way to gauge who was watching, really. I mean, they got like
literal fan mail,
right?
Literal.
They got that, and they had like maybe the ratings, but other than that, you have no idea if you're actually making an impact or if someone's just watching in the background. You know, so going up to them, telling them how much that stuff means to them, you know, and same with like, I think if you see a voice actor that you really love, you know, like you know, like we talk about like shows like Animaniacs, Freakazoid, stuff like that. Like, those guys make a difference, and they should get the praise for it. They raised us, damn it.
They did. They basically did. Yeah. But yeah, Pasadena Comic Con was great. We at our booth, I was being a shameless self promoter, and anybody that walked by, I was like, "Hey, this is who we are. Come on, enter our raffle. Give us a like on any of our 5 media platforms, and you get a raffle ticket. Come back, and hopefully you can win a prize." So it was something I was like, "That's it. I'm just going to stand by the booth."
You're the king of the sale, buddy.
Trying to do it. So
and we saw some great cosplay going on. We saw some great shirts and people coming full. You know, you never know with these kind of smaller cons, like, if anyone's going to really put in an effort, you know. But I mean, everyone looked like they were having so much fun there, and you know, for a one-day event, I think it did really well. So it was a good crowd.
And you picked up something cool, Chad?
Yes, I was able to pick up the Man-Bat from the Batman the Animated Series, the original DC Direct line that kind of disappeared after it was like McFarlane, I guess, bought it. But I was able to find it there. And
that thing was gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Beautiful packaging too.
Yeah,
and I was just shocked to, you know, see certain things there that I was like, oh, I didn't expect, you know. Anything.
When did that come out? That figure?
That figure?
I think it was
early
like
2000s.
Early 2000s. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was that old. Oh
yeah.
shit.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. It's if you're not going to a place that sells like older or I guess like maybe 10-year-old things or something, you're not really gonna.
And it's hard to find it. I mean, we saw it in the boxes in perfect condition.
Yeah, that guy did not touch it at all.
Thing.
He did not touch.
Well,
it
he
up.
said something about a storage.
Yeah, he had a storage unit.
Yeah,
stuff, so.
yeah. He talked to the guy, and he was coming out of Burbank, so we talked about close by, and he was just like, "Yeah, I got most of the stuff at a storage unit, and this was his first con.
Yeah,
his
he had a
time.
sign that said first time
his
seller.
first time doing anything. He had no real idea, how it was going to go and everything, and
I hope he
had some really great stuff.
Business.
Yeah, very cool stuff.
A 1977 Superman chalkboard. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It was so gorgeous. I was like, oh man, I would buy everything in that booth. It was so cool. He had some really cool rare items. So
yeah, it was. We walked eventually after when it was over. I walked the floor once the raffle was done. So there wasn't as much promoting to do. But yeah, I got to see a lot of great stuff. It was really fun. There was a hat company that was selling these like very elaborate logos on the hats.
Yeah.
And our friend Carmine bought a Ghostbusters hat.
The Ghostbusters hat was sick.
Looks sick, and it's like this. I don't know what's the material. It's like some kind of like rubber material.
Yeah,
it's like silicone or something.
In Boston.
Yeah. And so like the logos on them are just like these very thick, like really beautiful logos. Went over there to get one, and they were all sold out of the Ghostbuster one.
Yeah.
He's like, we got everything else. That Ghostbuster one is gone.
The Ghostbusters were gone.
Yeah, but shout out to Carmine. Thank you so much, bro, because he was like, here, just have mine, bro. Don't worry about it. And I was like, no, man. He insisted.
He was regretting that the next day.
Was he really? Was
That's
he
what
really?
happens
Oh, no.
No,
when you're 3 White Claws deep or whatever.
Yeah.
I told. Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he was a little
lit. Yeah,
he was happy.
Now I got to give back to him.
No, he's happy. You happy.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you sure?" Because I kept asking him like over and over. He's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" He's like, "Yes, man." Like, okay, like
he's a happy drunk. I like that.
Yeah, sure.
I was able to get one of the an original 1980s real Ghostbusters lunchbox, which I was very excited about.
Which came in very
useful.
Well,
it was just because it was like we needed a bowl for the raffle, and I was like, let me go around. Maybe I'll find a bowl. Someone's got to be selling some arts and crafts or something. But I saw that lunchbox, and the guy wanted 20 for it, and I was like, this is really, it was really nice. It was like a bright orange plastic 80s plastic lunchbox. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen this in this orange before. Usually you find them in like blue and and I was like, this is really cool. So I picked it up. I snagged it.
Nice. Yeah.
And
thanks for doing that. Yeah.
No, it was great.
I don't know if Dan grabbed you guys stuff while he came by the booth or whatever like that, but he did bring I guess he found it at one of the other booths around, and it was the VHS of Ridley Scott's Legend.
Oh yeah,
and I was just like, I just found it funny that he got that for me because I tried showing that movie to him years ago, and he couldn't stay off his phone. So I was like, he was very not. So I was like, I'll just turn off the movie because you're obviously not into what I'm showing you here. So
Legend's a great film, man.
No, it's fun. It's very weird.
Very weird.
It's fun, and
it's
bizarre. Tom Cruise
like a Ridley Scott movie,
yeah.
And then Tom Cruise, a very young
Tom Cruise, and they slathered him in makeup.
Yeah, he's very sparkly and
glittered up.
Everything's if you watch that movie, like there's just glitter hanging in the air of every scene. I'm like, man, it must have been hard to breathe on that set.
Yeah, seriously, man.
Because they would just pump it in like that like.
Or maybe not. That's why Tom Cruise stays so young, dude.
I mean, that's it. Maybe he's just like...
It's just so glittered up.
He's just permanently...
It's just all in his veins.
Yeah. It's like Tupperware now.
Yeah, it was a great time. I can't wait. We're going to Nostalgia Con this weekend, 6, 7, and 8 of June. So
Anaheim,
that's going to be in Anaheim. Come check us out. Come by our booth. That's going to be a much, much bigger deal. I was pretty beat by the end of Saturday. This for Pasadena Comic Con.
Up for next weekend.
Yeah,
so you start working out now.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I was on my feet basically most of the day. So, but Friday's mostly setup day, and then Saturday's a big event. We'll do our raffle, and then Sunday just
Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there Friday, but I will be there Saturday and Sunday. Sorry,
this guy, dude, has to make money for his family. Jesus Christ.
It's funny because the person that's covering for me on Saturday and Sunday at work is covering for my boss on Friday, so there's no one to cover. Yeah. It's the whole deal.
No, I get it. So yeah, Pasadena Comic Con, great time. It's a good little con. The only thing that sucked was at the end of the day because we have like these massive like stands that are don't know what they are. They're these poles. What are those poles?
Oh yeah, they're just pipe and bass.
Yeah. So that's where we hang our banner from at the end of the event. We walked our cart over that we used to transport them towards the con. We walked our cart back to my truck and loaded it up and like, okay, let's go get the rest of the stuff. And I left Watson behind just to guard the truck because I had this very expensive cart that I have that I left in the back. A bunch of our stuff was back there. So then, like, Chad and I had to carry the bases back, and I was when I got back to the booth,
they're no joke bases.
They're no joke, and I was like, oh,
at least 40 pounds.
Shit, like they're 30, 40 pounds a piece.
Well, that's why like, when you came back, I was a little puzzled because I was like, oh, I thought you were going to bring back the cart.
I completely forgot about the bases. I was like, oh shit! So we had to walk
our lesson
from the convention center all the way back to the parking lot, which was like, 300 meters, something like that. Yeah. It was a good walk. That walk sucked, dude. That walk sucked. Yeah.
How many clicks would that be?
The clicks? No, it's not within 300 meters. No, there's no. I'm not sure, but
can't do the math. Well, a click is what?
It's not a click. Yeah, so it's not a click. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, it's under that.
Half a click.
Kilometer. Yeah.
Quarter click.
Yeah.
Quarter click. There we go.
It's funny because we use mostly in the military. We use mostly miles, and then for distance. Like how far away? 2-3 miles.
Right.
But then we'll be like, how far out is that? Oh, about 200 meters. 100 meters, something like that. It's weird. Yeah.
Meters.
We don't use clicks too much to talk to each other. No. It's weird.
That's just movie talk.
It's movie talk, I guess.
Exactly. What else? Is there anything else from Pasadena Comic Con that sticks out to you guys?
For anybody who entered the raffle and they did not make it back to the booth at the designated time, we're sorry that you didn't make it, but if you are coming to Nostalgia Con this upcoming weekend, you'll have another chance on Saturday and Sunday, so doesn't hurt to try again.
Yeah. The events usually wrap up around 5, so we do the raffle around 3.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do that at Nostalgia Con again. So
and if I did say this to one or two people, I was like, if you do show up and you show me you are following us from the previous time, I will give you a ticket.
Oh yeah,
just to give you another chance.
That's fine, yeah, because we had like 1 or 2 people who were already following us, and take it regardless. So thanks for following us.
Absolutely,
yeah. So you're already following
all
us.
the support really helps,
exactly.
And so we're really appreciative of anyone that's giving us a follow on all the socials.
You're gonna away some cool stuff too. So we've got a PS5 Hogwarts Legacy game. That's one of our grand prizes.
I'm glad you didn't space that out more. No, not just
PS5.
It's a game.
No, it's definitely a game.
Game.
No, we're not quite at that level yet.
Not yet.
Eventually, when we get to that level,
maybe we're giving away.
We'll wrap off PS7.
Maybe if we get sponsored by Sony.
Sony would like to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Not to say I wouldn't keep the PS5 for myself, but we're not there yet. So,
oh man, I won the raffle. That's crazy.
Oh geez,
that's so nuts. I don't know how that happened.
We're just giving everyone manscaping tools.
And we'll be in Nostalgia Con this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And Anaheim, what are you guys looking forward to towards that?
Oh man, I really Ernie Reyes Jr. is going to be there.
Have you seen that thing at the signing and the picture event? That's stacked, dude.
No,
it's stacked. All the people are going to be there.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's stacked. Yeah,
huge amount of voice actors there and stuff like that.
Well, I gotta get my Kato from Ninja Turtles 2 signed from him. That's what I want.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, okay. Right.
But Rufio from Hook is going to be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot the actor's name. Sorry. He's just Rufio to me. But he's also, I know, like most of the cast of Avatar is going to be there.
Well, let me go over this. This is a stacked list that we have here.
Let's go.
Obviously, we have Josh Peck and Drake Bell. I think this is one of the first times they're going to be together at a con, I believe. So that's
pretty huge.
Yeah, and their pictures is like, to take a picture of them, it's pretty pricey. Understandably so. It's they're a huge part of not my childhood because this was after my time, but certainly a lot of people who came up after me.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah,
I'm young. I'm like
no.
Oh, dude, I'm such a kid. Yeah.
Masako Nozawa, Rami Park, who's done a bunch of voices, Toshio Furukawa, who did I think one of the voices on one of the Dragon Ball Z characters, Maria Isi. By the way, sorry if I butcher some of these names. I apologize. Ryoto Ozawa, We have Tom Kenny. Never heard of him. Who's that? No. He obviously was the voice of SpongeBob amongst many other voices.
Super nice guy too.
Yeah,
from all accounts. Like I got to meet him at the. He used to come to the Colony Theater all the time.
Oh really?
Yeah, good
That's
dude.
Cool. Mae Whitman was going to be there. She was in
Arrested Development.
Perks Being Wallflower. Scott
Pilgrim. Yeah, she was great. Scott Pilgrim.
I think she was one of the voices for Batwoman as well, or Batgirl, excuse me. Sam Riegel. Who's on Critical Role? I think he did one of the voices for one of the Turtles. Karen Fukuhara, who was on The Boys, Bullet Train, Suicide Squad, bunch of Boy and the Heron. Kevin Eastman, don't know who that is.
Kevin Eastman.
Obviously, Kevin Eastman, who is
seriously Kevin Eastman's gonna be there.
Yeah, he's gonna. It was just announced. Yeah.
Whoa, that's
gonna be a huge line for that.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. It's just, like I said, this thing is stacked. Tomer Capone on The Boys. It might be Capone, excuse me. John DiMaggio, Bender, Futurama. Jeremy Shada, who was on Ventureland. I believe Ventureland. D. Bradley Parker. Let's see here. Dan Green, Eric Stewart, Nathan Kress. Christopher Sabat, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, I believe is the way. O'Shaughnessy, yes, I believe that's right. I mean, it's just William Daniels, who is Mr. Feeney and the voice of Kit. I really don't like. I do have a transforming Kit action figure. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you should take it, man. Like I just want to get a picture with him because I'm getting up spending so much. He's obviously money. Mr. Feeney and he's obviously Kit. So Kit, which was huge when I was.
Do you want him to? Give you a little hair tussle.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Yeah.
Picture.
Dante Bosco, who is
Dante Bosco,
who's Rufio. Nathan Mitchell, who's on The Boys. He plays Black Noir. Jim Cummings, which has done a million voices.
Yeah, I mean,
David Hayter, voice of Snake, obviously. Alan Oppenheimer.
Maybe, yeah.
What's that for?
No, because I'm trying not to spend too much money, so I'm just gonna try to pick one person.
I'm only picking one, which is William Daniels.
So
yeah, and I'll probably do that Friday when it's like the slower day. So yeah, Alan Oppenheimer. Yeah, I mean it's just the list goes on, and it's really stacked. Let me see. I'm going through. There's so many people. I'm just kind of going through them right now.
That's great.
Yeah, it's
lots of variety. That's
lots of variety.
Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty huge con.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of the big ones. Francois Chow, who was Shredder.
Oh yeah, from Secret of the Ooze.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let me see here. We got Nicholas Rowe, John Swazi.
I wish James Saito was there, but he's the original Shredder.
Yeah, I know, man. Zach Gordon. Christina Kelly. Yeah, it seems like they've added some people because it wasn't this stack. Now it's much more.
I think it's people's, just
confirming. Ernie Reyes Jr., as we said.
Because it was pushed, right? From before?
No, this one's always been.
Oh, this was never pushed.
Pasadena
was the one that was pushed.
Barry
I think it's a lot of people's just schedule are opening up.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And they probably.
Also, there's not a lot of stuff in the industry going, so
that's true.
More free time.
Well, and NostalgiaCon is, there's multiple nostalgia cons going on. Like there's one in Austin, there's one in, all over the place. So I think they get to use the same actors depending on, we can fly them to this one and that one, then this one kind of thing. So
yeah, exactly. They definitely had a lot more people to this list. Brian Tochi. Who was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original film, Walter Jones, Black Ranger, Power Rangers. Oh my God, yeah, this thing.
Was he at Pasadena Con too?
I think he was, yeah. I'm pretty sure he was there.
Yeah,
I think he was.
Austin St. James was there.
Yeah, Austin St. James was there. Jason Marsden is going to be there. Jason Marsden's a lot of cons. He likes to come out and meet fans, which is awesome. Blake Foster, who was... they have a picture of him as a wrestler. Do you know who that is? He's one of the Blue Rangers. Blake Foster. He's got no. I don't. He's got a wrestling belt on. I'm not sure if that's just like. I might just be a picture he took, but yeah, I mean it's going to be a big con. There's going to be a lot of people there. They added some X-Men characters from X-Men '97. Chris Potter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Lenore Zan.
You could get
Allison Court, who did the original voice of
the original voices to sign the script.
Jubilee.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh, that's a good idea, dude. Yeah, Allison Court, who's the original voice of Jubilee. Oh, and she was Lydia on the animated Beetlejuice.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you should definitely get her to sign your script.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
Because, I mean, that first 2 episodes, it's all Jubilee. It's really heavy.
It's true, yeah. Huh, that's not bad. That's not a bad idea. That's a good idea. But, so I'm excited. Definitely William Daniels. That's
a good one.
If I'm only going to do one, that's the only one I'm going to do.
Yeah, because, I don't know how many cons he wants to do in his later years. Like, he might be like, this might be it.
That might be it. Yeah, exactly. So, it's Mr. Feeney, man. It's Mr. Feeney. Come on.
I was not a Boy Meets World kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you need to get off this podcast right now, bro.
What?
Right now.
He was Kit. That's all I need.
Well, that's true. He was. Okay, you got to pass.
He was,
Chad?
for me, he was in the, what was it, the 1776, where they...
Oh, the musical? He was in a musical called the 1776 musical.
I don't remember if it was a musical or not, but they were...
Yeah, he was John Adams.
Yeah. They were doing...
That was a musical, yeah.
Yeah. So that's me, you know.
That's where you know him from?
That's where I know him from.
We watched it in
elementary.
We watched it
in school.
That was a good one, yeah.
No, it's not bad. Yeah. No, I watched a little bit of Boy Meets World, but it was never my shtick. I was too busy watching the Super Secret Samurai Cyber Squad. Sorry,
come on, dog. You don't watch that over Boy Meets World? Come on,
dude.
I didn't watch any of like the was it TGIF stuff?
Come on, what?
Yeah, no,
even I watched this.
Yes,
because Fridays I'd watch Fox because they had X-Files and
exactly. X-Files wasn't until 9:30, so that was way after TGF was done.
And
so don't give me that. Don't you dare.
I was making out with girls back
then. X-Files wasn't on Fridays until that show was dying off. It was on like Monday, Tuesdays, or something like that.
No, it was on Sundays.
It was. I think it was Friday. Oh no, you might have been.
It was Sunday.
It was Sunday
after Simpsons. I remember that.
That's right. Yeah, see, bro.
See, you're telling lies now.
Yeah, you're telling lies.
I didn't watch. All right, I didn't watch ABC stuff. I don't know.
Did you watch Nickelodeon, bro? Are you even a nerd, bro? Are you even a '90s kid?
Okay, Step by Step.
Yeah.
No.
Jeez. What?
Family Matters?
Oh, that Urkel? Yeah.
Dude, Step by Step. Come on, bro. Step by Step had.
What about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yeah, but that was on NBC.
That was on WB.
No, NBC. That was an NBC show.
It was a Warner Brothers show.
Pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure Chad's right.
Check the tape.
Yeah, check the tape. Yeah. You never watched Step by Step?
No.
With the 3 gorgeous sisters on it?
No.
Oh, bro.
Well, it got you through puberty?
What about Full House?
No. Never watched Full House.
Bro, this guy, bro.
Wow.
Hey, man, different strokes, different folks.
I mean, this is a British kid's childhood.
That is true. I did forget about that.
It's filled with fish and chips and carpets and tea.
And Doctor Who from 1965.
Yeah. There's some Doctor Who stuff going on right now. I don't know if you want to delve into it, but there's some Doctor Who stuff.
And Spaced.
Yeah. Spaced is great.
Right? Yeah,
well, I wouldn't say Spaced was like a kid.
Good.
That was like late 90s, early 2000s. So we were all grown up then.
That's true.
Except for me, I was still a child.
No, I was probably a child, and you guys were, living in the real world.
Okay, now the tables are turned. Fuck Chad, dude.
Oh, what?
Nostalgia Con is gonna be fun. I can't wait to go. It's gonna be tiring, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a marathon, but we'll make it through.
Yeah, we'll make it through. We'll push it.
And if you're doing anything more than just the bathroom, let us know, Watts.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I disappeared for a little bit. Yeah,
you died in there or something.
Watson's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Okay, like 45 minutes later, we're like getting swamped, dude.
Yeah,
there was so many people around our booth coming, and I was like,
I didn't mean. Well, it was funny because I went to the bathroom, and then I was walking around. And then I ran to that guy in the booth with all the stuff for you. And I was like, and that's when I started the conversation about Burbank and all that. And I was like, yeah, and you know me, I could talk in ear off of anyone. Yeah. So I didn't realize how much time went by.
Because I was like texting, I was like, yo, man, we need help, bro. Like,
yeah.
There was so many people crowded around us. It was
funny because when I left, it was like
nothing
walking through.
As soon as
I was
like 10 minutes after you left, we started getting slammed.
That's so funny.
And then like, and I love how you showed up just like all confident, walking out, like with like bags of shit. I was like, bro. But yes, let's try to man the booth and we'll do it in shifts.
Yes.
And,
absolutely.
So let us know if you have to take off for a
bit. Will do.
But yeah, it's gonna be fun, and hopefully we pick up a couple more listeners. We did pick up about like a little over 4 or 5 dozen listeners from
there.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
So if you first time listening to this, or haven't heard any of the old stuff, thanks for joining us, and hope you enjoy us.
Exactly. There's much more to come.
Yeah.
Final Reckoning. We also watched that. The second part to Dead Reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
I guess two separate. Yes. The second part to Dead Reckoning from Mission Impossible.
Yes, because it's got released as Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Part 1.
Yeah. Then they were like, "Oh no!"
Yeah. Final Reckoning. Do that well. Oh, but it's weird, man, because I thought that movie was great. I think it's probably now what I did after I watched Dead Reckoning. I came back and I watched all the Final Fantasy Mission Impossible movie, because I'm looking at one of the actors the voice actors here. I came back and I watched all the Mission Impossible films, and I realized I hadn't seen the one with Ilsa Faust, which is Ghost Protocol.
Yeah,
I think I hadn't seen it. I was like, I thought I watched it, but I hadn't. It was really good, man.
Yeah, Ghost Protocol is really good.
Really good, man.
Is this the fourth one?
I think it's the fifth.
No, because it's Ghost Protocol, then Rogue Nation, and then Fallout.
Rogue Nation's the one you watched then.
Okay, yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, and I think it was
because then it's Fallout after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Or is that? No, it's 5. Excuse me, I haven't watched 5 yet.
Yeah.
So the one after Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
So because at the end of Dead Reckoning they show a bunch of snippets from the past films.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I was like, I can't remember some of this. Like maybe I hadn't seen it. Watched them all again. They all still really hold up. I kind of skipped the second one because maybe that's the one that doesn't hold up as well. So I don't know.
It's very that one is probably of all of them the most of its time.
Right.
Because it's Ang Lee.
It
was John Woo.
Woo, yeah.
John Woo. Sorry. Yeah.
And I love John Woo. But I don't know, I enjoy this movie, but it's so hard to place within the rest of the movies just because of.
Very. But I mean,
it also fits because of just how outlandish the stunts there, and then the stunts get as the movies go on. So it still works, but for I understand people don't like 3 as much, but I like 3 more than 2. Then that's
I love 3. 3 with Philip Seymour Hoffman is amazing.
That was really good, man. Yeah,
I
hadn't seen it in a long time, and I watched it again. And I was like, oh man, I forgot how menacing.
He's
great.
Yeah. I love all the movies, so they're they're just so good.
Yeah. So we watched Dead Reckoning. I don't understand why.
Final
Reckoning. I don't understand why Dead Reckoning didn't do as well. I thought it was a great. I think it's one of the best of all the franchises.
Right after
Barbenheimer,
and got slapped because they didn't think Barbenheimer would have the legs that it did and last. So Barbie and Oppenheimer both outperformed what they expected.
Right.
And then the week that it was coming out, the writer's strike hit.
Yeah, so they couldn't promote.
The actors couldn't go out and promote when on the
the actors strike and everything happened around that time.
Yeah, so I think that kind of made everything die down a bit quicker. Also, and since Oppenheimer was out there, it was taking up a lot of the IMAX screen. So I think it only had a limited time. Or Dead Reckoning only had a limited time in theaters before it had to go before they put Oppenheimer back in for people to go see.
But it still did okay. I mean,
it did well.
It didn't make as much, and then that was one movie as well. They were filming that one during COVID.
Yeah,
and so they had to shut down, but they were still paying the crew and cast money during COVID, to hang out. So they were even saying, for that one movie to make its budget back, it would it had to be $1 billion movie.
Yeah,
which it didn't do it nearly. It made good money. I think it made close to $500 million.
Dead Reckoning,
right? Yeah.
Well, I think when you're making a movie that has 2 parts to it, the first part's not gonna do as great because it's half of a movie.
I know everyone's why am I gonna watch part 1? Yeah,
because that's how I felt when I saw part 1 of the Spider-Verse one, because 2 is still yet to come out, and I just thought the ending was okay, I'll just wait till the second part to really get a judgment of the whole thing. So
it's even Dune, breaking up the book into 2 halves, I think hurt the second like Dune 2 Part 2 did not do as well
as
they expected it to, because it just, I think you're right, like everyone's like
well, I think it's also the people who are the super fans of the books, they'll show up for Dune Part 2,
right?
But then like people who don't know it at all and be like, oh, I thought it was just one movie, and then there's another one, and then
you lose casual fans.
Yeah,
that way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge. I've never read the books, but I still showed up for both of them.
No,
I like the world building.
Oh yeah, well,
it's just amazing
the camera work
cinematography.
is beautiful. Yeah, everything. Yeah,
and the second one didn't disappoint at all. So
no,
I definitely showed up for it.
And then there's a possible third one, right?
Yeah, Messiah is in the works.
Yeah, but no, like Final Reckoning, I really enjoyed. I had lots of fun.
Yeah,
people seeing it with in a theater with a group of people is always fun, because people are reacting to the stunts and the action and just the comedic moments that Tom delivers so well within the series.
Oh,
so,
Tom.
Yeah.
Tom, huh?
Yeah, me and him are on the first day, but he sent me a coconut cake last Christmas.
That's
and
nice.
I didn't want
to on the coconut cake
list.
I didn't want to rub it in, but
but now you are.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean,
have you asked him to come on the podcast?
Well, there's the thing. He's got like a clause against podcasts and like friends who have podcasts, so it's like hard for me to get past that.
Can you imagine? Yeah,
I've seen him on a million podcasts. So
actually, I've not seen him on any podcasts.
He's been on a couple.
Really? He's on the Nerdist. I know
he's on the Nerdist for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's definitely on the Nerdist.
Well,
and somehow like Nerdist got
clout.
Yeah, somehow Nerdist got a lot of celebrities on it.
They were back when no one had podcasts.
They were like
that's true. Yeah,
during Joe Rogan when he first started.
I'm sure there were a lot of them like, what is this? Is it a radio interview?
Right.
And they sit there and talk to Chris
Hardwick.
Hardwick for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to those old ones, you hear that kind of dialogue. It's like, so this isn't live or anything? And then they're like,
Chris Hardwick would be like, no, we're just talking. It's just conversation. And he'd be like, oh.
Can we curse? And
It's
like, yeah.
And you can hear the celebrities like, really? Wow.
And now everyone knows.
Now people just roll their eyes when it's like,
because they're like, can I curse on this? Can I curse on this? Yes, please. But yeah, I really like the film. There's a scene in there. Again, the stunts are great, man. There's a scene in there where he has to go back into the submarine to.
That was the best sequence.
Yeah, it's like. Here's the thing with the Mission Impossible movie, which I love. They're basically the Fast and the Furious films.
Yeah.
Which like there's no way that this could happen, but it's so crazy and so much fun and so well done that you just go with it. Like I'm just gonna roll with it. Like he goes into the submarine to get into the vault of the AI machine, so he can get basically the hard drive off of it. And that's the
source code.
The source code. And the way he gets out is his way gets blocked because the submarine is rolling around the seafloor. And like he's got his dive suit, and this very advanced dive suit, but it's very bulky, so he can't get out now because the door's shut. And he's like, okay, I'll go out the torpedo tube. And he shoots himself. He has to take his suit off to get in there. Yeah. Just with like the breathing mechanism, and this like the source code.
An ice cold
Nordic at night or base, whatever it was. And he shoots himself out.
He becomes a torpedo.
And now he's like holding his breath in like a fetal position as he floats. It was great. I was like, this is so insane, but it works, Yeah. I was like, screw it. I'll go with it,
Yeah. I personally thought this was one of the weaker of the Mission movies.
For sure, I agree with you.
I think Dead Reckoning was better.
Much better
than this. Yeah. I think the stunts in this look better.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You can tell like that sequence in particular, like as the submarine is rotating on the seafloor, like you're seeing like these pockets of air in the submarine, so you're seeing the water shift.
Yeah,
and it's really beautifully done. Yeah. Like, and it's like you go, okay, that's a set on a gimbal. They rotate the whole thing so the water can rotate.
Right.
I mean, it looks all practical, which is pretty amazing.
And the torpedoes are flying around in there.
Yeah, like versus like
the missiles just clanking against each other.
Like Rogue Nation, there's that whole sequence where it's in the server room underwater.
Yes.
And that looks very CGI.
That's the one I had to watch, Rogue Nation.
Yeah. So that whole sequence looks really CGI. And I never bought into it. And then they do kind of the same thing here, and they're like, no, this is Tom Cruise underwater.
Yeah, holding his breath.
And it's like it pays dividends. It's great. Yeah.
It's just so nuts, man.
But I mean, my problem with the movie as a whole is it's very long. It's around 3 hours.
Very much so.
And an hour of this movie, a good hour, is just recapping what happened in the last movie.
Yes.
And like random it's recap and random connections to things that it doesn't need to connect to.
I agree.
Well, I feel that the length didn't bother me, but I do agree with the flashbacks. Right. I think some of them could have been cut, but there were some that actually meant something to it, and I don't know. I didn't feel like it was a big reach. Because I always did wonder,
we're going into spoilers, right? We're going to spoil this.
Just like,
it's been out.
Spoiler.
Yeah. It's a good I think it's a great cinematic experience.
Very much so.
Go see this in the movie theaters if you get a chance to. It plays really well on the big screen. There's a biplane.
It's a final fight.
Yeah, it's a big fight. I mean, it's promoted the hell out of it, but it's fucking awesome to watch, and it's just camera and Tom Cruise doing what Tom Cruise does. So.
And I just think that because I was curious in 3 what was the rabbit, and we never learned.
I like that though. I like that it didn't matter. The MacGuffin of the rabbit's foot in 3.
Yeah. No,
I didn't need to know what it was.
Right.
I didn't need to, but that was cool that it affected things down the line. I play a lot of video games where your choices matter as time goes on, and the bigger things that he comes across, obviously things are going to intertwine at some point.
I feel, but there was a lot of, it was almost like they really want to tie the bow on a lot of the story. And it's there's stuff you didn't need to, the whole Jim Phelps thing that's added in.
I thought that was
the
fun.
Agent was Jim Phelps' son.
That came,
why?
That came out of the blue.
It came out of nowhere, and it forced forced conflict, right? He's there's a reason he's got to chip his shoulder over Ethan Hunt.
Well, I think they needed to give his character a little more depth. That's why.
But they didn't, though. It didn't do any. It didn't add anything to that character other than my dad. You said my dad was a bad guy, and then that was it. That's the end of the scene.
Well, I didn't
go anywhere.
Well, that was that kind of showed his character. That's I don't care what happened with my father. I'm about security for the country. They
did a weird handshake at the end.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought it was nice. It was. I mean, the series is hammy in itself.
No, so,
you're gonna have stuff. You're not. It's not well, it's hard to find anything that isn't hammy. Like James Bond, that's hammy stuff.
I know. I just feel like it was adding something that didn't need to be there, that didn't really affect the story that much. He still did the same things that he would have done.
Yeah.
It wasn't and this I had problems with his partner joining Ethan's team.
Right.
Oh,
for no real reason.
Yeah, I would say that was random.
You need him give him a line saying because you've got the character of Paris who was the killer in the last movie joining Ethan's team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Give that character, I think his name is Davis, a line going I'm going to stick around and watch her or something.
Yeah.
She's under my protection.
He was questioning the overall mission slightly in Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, but
slightly. But yeah, all of a sudden he's on
the team, but he's not adding anything.
Yeah, it was a very sudden 180.
Because it's what was he there doing? Though?
Right.
But I also think he was probably a replacement for spoiler alert, Ving Rhames passing away. So
overall, yes.
Overall,
yeah.
But even then, Ving Rhames' character kind of got replaced by Benji's character in previous movies. Benji became the tech guy.
Yeah.
I would
say, you don't need two Ludacruses.
True, but I think
is Ludacris the tech guy? Okay, well.
But I think Ving Rhames was the more experienced tech guy.
No, I know. I hated the way they got rid of Ving Rhames.
What'd you guys think of that? You said there was a moment that made you joke up.
When he had to leave him behind, I got choked up at that. Right. Plus with the recording he left him behind, I was like, oh man.
I like the recording.
I just thought obviously and Ving Rhames is on the older end, and who knows?
Last of the original guys.
Yeah, I mean
that's true. That's true.
And I was curious. Someone has to die here, and that was probably the most logical one of them to go. But I thought it was justified. I didn't think it was a bad death for him.
In Dead Reckoning, I don't remember him being sick. Was that mentioned?
I don't remember that at all. All of a sudden, he's in the hospital.
Yeah,
and I was
like,
what's going on?
I don't know.
Well, no, because it's been was it 6 months? Like
it's been 6 months. Yes.
6 months.
2 months. 2 months. Only 2 months have passed because they talk about when he goes to see the president, and they're like.
Could have sworn they said 6 months.
I thought it was 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard 2.
Because
no, you might be right, but yeah.
I mean,
I know his hair's completely grown out, so it's like.
No, it does say 2 months. Yeah, 2 months after receiving the key. Yeah, I could have sworn 6.
His hair grows very fast, though.
Well, if anything, I could believe it's probably from, nuclear radiation
exposure?
Because of how many bombs he's
defused. Yeah, that's true.
So it's like,
I'm like, it was very sudden. I was just like, oh wait, he's suddenly in hospital gear.
Yeah, it was very quick.
To really and they didn't really delve. I was like, okay, he's gonna sacrifice himself because he's got nothing to live for. Really,
right.
He's already dying.
Well, we didn't know what he had. He was just sick.
I know. He could have been he had a
He
flu.
could have lived however much longer.
He's like, damn COVID.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
But no, I thought that death worked well, and it was Tom sold it. Like I was like, oh man,
yeah. I know because those two. I mean, like we've seen them in 30 years of worth of movies together. Basically.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I got the connection and everything. I just, I felt like I don't feel like you needed it though. Like you didn't need another reason for Ethan to hate the entity. I don't think he hated the entity at that moment because that wasn't the entity that killed him.
It was Isai Morales' character.
And
Gabriel.
Who yet again I think was better used in Dead
Reckoning.
Reckoning.
Much more. It seems like because I think
he was more of a threat in Dead Reckoning.
I heard
he was the bad guy in Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
And the entity was the bad guy in Final Reckoning.
So I heard that there was changes because of how Dead Reckoning how Dead Reckoning ended up turning out.
Yeah.
And I think that they tried to, I don't know if this for a fact, but it seems like Isai Morales, Gabriel had more of a bigger role in this film, and that was one of the changes. It seems
that's
they threw more onto the entity being the overall. I mean, it was the overall antagonist in the first film, but like it's like now it's more focused on the entity than it was in Gabriel. But yeah, you're right. Gabriel was kind of just there, and it's mentioned kind of in a throwaway line that he's been outcast by the entity.
Well, no, if you remember,
because he didn't complete his mission,
right?
Yeah, if you remember the end of Dead Reckoning, he pretty much assumed Ethan was going to kill him on the train.
Yeah.
And so he was already disregarded and thrown away. So he came to that realization, and then that set him on. Now you have a 3-party race.
I get that. I'm just saying it seems like Gabriel was sidetracked. I don't know if it's for the changes, but it in the script he was certainly sidetracked, and I don't think they originally wanted to set it up as a 3-way race.
Yeah, there was too many like parts and things to grab. Like it was like, okay, we got to grab the keys to then go grab the hard drive, but then we got to add this poison pill thing,
right? And then, but then she has to lift it from. We have to trap it in this advanced USB drive, but you have to lift it.
Which, by the way, suddenly he's just got this crystal drive that Luther built. This when
there was a lot of stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in this because it seemed like Dead Reckoning was like very tight. Like everything kind of made sense. It was like very tight. Like
there's a lot of stuff just added in.
one plot point to the other. It was like very tight. With this, it was like it seemed kind of disjointed. Also, like. My only problem with Gabriel, aside from him being like this kind of common, like ooh, evil. It seemed like that is what he was now, which that's fine, but he kind of seemed a little cartoonish. But at the same time, it was also like, where the fuck is he getting all these like massive nuclear bombs from? And it's just like he had two of
wholesale,
them. He had two of them in the film. It's like, damn, dude, how are you transporting these things?
I didn't.
Whatever. Well, that's the thing. But I mean, like you're giving leeway to the torpedo tube. Right? It's like, of course,
exactly.
The bad guy's gonna have a nuclear.
But it seems like the torpedo tube scene and him shooting himself out of the torpedo tube. The torpedo room and then him shooting himself out of the torpedo tube.
Right.
Somehow that makes a little more sense than these
in
two
that
massive
world,
nuclear bombs.
And like the whole thing in I'm trying to remember the one now. Maybe it was Rogue Nation. Like the whole storyline of the Kremlin. was like they were trying to stop the guy from getting the nuclear briefcase, right? That was the whole thing.
Right.
And so it was like a big deal, like that a nuke would have been out there. And then suddenly, Gabriel's got like these giant, fucking nukes. Like, how did he get them? They didn't even mention it. And then that whole sequence is like, so you've got Benji dying, he's telling Haley Atwell, like, it was like tension, and then we have to add more tension because we have to split half the team. For some reason, we've got the guy who's in the first movie and his wife hanging out to dismantle a nuclear bomb. Why?
Because it's got to be impossible. If it's not impossible, it's not Mission Impossible.
But it's like suddenly they just added this whole. There was like 3 guys that they didn't need in this team.
Yeah.
Suddenly go, oh, we'll stick around and I guess there's a nuclear bomb we can disarm.
Right. Mean, I appreciated them giving like a shout out to that character from the first movie.
Yes.
I thought he was fabulous.
No, he was great. Yeah, and it was great that it was Ethan that ruined his life.
Yeah.
But by stealing. But then he was like, oh, but don't apologize.
Yeah.
I got to be my wife, and
that's a great coda for that character. And he could have left him then, and then they could have dropped him off in South Africa and went their merry way.
Yeah.
The fact that the wife and him are now like
part of the team.
I guess we're on the team.
Yeah. That was strange.
It was. Well,
I think weird. I think he felt obligated because I've been trying to warn people about the entity thing a long time ago, and it's like I feel I need to see this through. Finally.
Now let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that the rabbit's foot was actually that's what they had planned the entire time?
Oh
no,
no,
it was like
no way.
Because
the rabbit's foot,
or they're just like, oh hey, and they snap their fingers. The rabbit's foot,
right? We never said what it was,
exactly.
And then the rabbit foot had like a biohazard logo on it.
Yeah.
So like the fact it wasn't a biohazard thing at all.
But you're right. I never cared about what it was.
No. Well, technically, it is a biohazard in the sense.
In a way, or they could just put it on there, just like warn people, just like, be careful with this.
Or they're misleading them, like, hey, this could be a virus. Don't open it.
Right. That's what I mean. Like trying to scare people to not mess with it. Yeah.
Now, what did you guys think of the entity as a bad guy? Like
it was toned down in this.
It was toned down.
Like here's the thing about the entity is like in the first one it says it's plotting out all these different scenarios to the point where it's like, okay, I know so much about especially Ethan Hunt that I know he's going to do this thing at this time.
Yeah.
There's no way. No. But in this thing,
it
can manipulate people. But in this time, it seemed like everybody knew what it was going to do. Like the entity wants us to do this.
Right.
The entity wants us to do that.
And it was spending most of its time just trying to take over nuclear codes.
And that's the other thing. Like I didn't. Okay. I don't get it. It's like it wants to take over the nuclear stockpile to destroy the world, and then it's gonna
hide out.
It's gonna hide out in the bunker.
Yeah.
And live there
until I guess obviously it doesn't. Time doesn't mean anything to it. So I guess that makes sense. 1,000 years, I guess, or whatever, and then its plan is to do what? I don't get it.
Never said.
Like I don't understand. I think yes, they were saying like and they've said this in other.
It's got
Mission
acolytes.
It's got other
the cultists.
They've said this in other Mission Impossible movies. It's like where they've tried to destroy the world and say the people who are left will be stronger and all that shit.
Well, so there's that, but through this movie, you heard there's cultists for the entity.
Yeah.
Right. And they've been so they probably know the plan and know to hide out somewhere to be safe.
Apparently, one of them is on a submarine randomly because no one knew that he was going to be on that sub.
Right.
Like no one told. Like that bit blew my mind. It's like suddenly like one of the sub.
Well, no, and then they're supposed to invade every aspect of the government and military. So that wasn't there. That wasn't planned for Tom to be there. He was just there because.
No, we get that, but like, how did they're not within radio communication? They specifically state that. So how did he know to take Tom out? I guess because he's after the end. I don't know. It just.
But don't very random. Like we need a fight scene here.
Yeah, we need a fight scene.
We need you shirtless. We need to fight someone.
Which is fine. It was a great fight scene.
There's
but
that.
It just didn't make.
But I think.
I love that submarine crew though.
No, yeah.
I was like that submarine crew.
Yeah.
But those guys in the next movie.
Yeah.
I think he was acting because just like how the person was about to try to assassinate the president because. They were going to subvert the entity's plot in some way. So it was like, well, I got to stop Tom here. I got to stop her there. So I think
I get what
they were just ready to act.
It just seemed way too convenient. You know?
No, I mean, obviously, yes.
Especially with already a mission that is very inconvenient of like, I need to go to this thing. I've got 30 seconds of oxygen when they're going to ping me.
But
then get me to a decompression chamber.
Yeah. But you gotta. I mean, again, Mission Impossible.
No.
Convenient. Oh, I have a mask that I can pull off.
By the way, where are the fucking masks?
They didn't need it because
they had them. They had
one
scene with masks. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tom shows up at an embassy where they're like half the military is looking for you.
Yes, that was weird. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a good place to put a fucking mask on?
Yeah, that was weird.
He's just walking around in a tux. Yeah. I'm like, dude, this is a mask up scenario.
The greatest thing I love about the Mission Impossible movies, every single meetup is at a party, a high-end party. Yeah. Every single movie has that.
They
where are we meeting this arms dealer? Right. At a party, at a benefit gala, in an art museum, and you got to wear I love it, dude.
I mean, that's where I would be if I was an arms dealer. I'm not going to be just... let me be home.
Oh yeah, sure.
What's on Netflix, guys? Oh yeah. No, I'm schmoozing, making deals here and there.
Right, they're meeting at the Del Taco. Put on your tuxedo.
Yeah.
But I was just like, that was been like, he's like, oh my god, everyone's looking for you. You're the most wanted criminal now, Tom Cruise. Don't put a mask on, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I found the overall what the entity wants. I didn't really understand. Just to nuke the world and somehow survive. And okay, I didn't really understand. So who's going to provide the electricity for the server that you're?
They did say it had solar panels.
Yeah, it did have solar. panels.
Okay, and the nuclear fallout from your bombs are going to block the sun. So that's it. That's no more solar panels.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like. What was it? I didn't understand the overall plan of it.
I don't know either. That was the thing.
But I understand, again, Mission Impossible, it has to, because the stakes are always so high, and they've done the world's going to get nuked thing at least 3 times already.
Oh, yeah.
So it's it has to raise the stakes. So that's
the
why they
last
have to do
one with Dead Reckoning, they do the whole, Gabriel and Ethan have a backstory.
Right.
Where Gabriel kills a woman, kind of blames
mentor,
Ethan.
lover. Yeah.
I thought we would go into that more. I thought, next one we're going to have some cool, de-aged flashback stuff, a mission that goes wrong.
I didn't need to see more of that, though. That was
apparently did the filmmakers, because they cut that whole story out. Because it's now it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, anymore. Like I said, it feels, a lot of this feels like it's heavy with rewrites. So they had this overall arc that they're going to do starting from the first film, and they dropped a bunch of stuff and just said that's including Gabriel, including that story arc, including the entity wanting. I'm sure that they probably had a different plot line for what the entity overall, what it actually wanted. They're like, let's just throw him in a bunker and have him.
Well, that was the thing too. Is they shows up and there's that sarcophagus there where he's going to talk to the entity.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ooh, cool!" And there's if you go in there, you're gonna be different. It's gonna change you.
Yeah,
no, it didn't. He came out going, "Is this real?" But I was just I wanted more from that scene. I'm like, okay, he's finally gonna go face to face with the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Give the entity bring in John Voight again, and have him be the face of the entity, or it could merge into all these different villains from the past. You could have, I hate it'd be a CGI Philip Seymour Hoffman or something, but you could do something rather than just this glowy eye thing. Yeah, which I was like, it doesn't have any. I feel nothing from staring at this thing.
So there was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The final villain was the first evil. Yeah, and every time it would talk to her, it would show her as one of her former enemies. Yeah, or a person that she knew that died, and he was and it did it to fuck with her. Right. To mess with her and be
we needed something like
that. Yeah, and I wish that's something we could have gotten where Ethan does come out of it kind of different. Also, the other thing about the movie that
just questioning reality in general. Yeah, is this mission real? Am I not? Am I still in the Matrix kind of thing?
Man. I also think that's with Ethan. Again, I get he's the main character. It's probably Tom Cruise had some say in this. But he's also in this film, it seems like he's the only one. He's like a messiah.
Oh yeah. Past few movies are very heavy with Ethan Hunt, the world's greatest man.
He's the only one.
Yeah. He should be in charge of the internet.
Right.
He should.
Yeah, and then she hands him the flash drive, whatever it is.
Oh, the glowing crystal.
The glowing crystal with the entity on it, and she's like, "You're the only one that I trust with this."
And he should have just fucking smashed
it. That's what I was thinking. He's like, "Yeah, you're right," and then take a hammer to it.
Well, then that would have been the end of Virtuosity. where he throws it off the building, and Sid 6.7 gets.
When he walked away with it, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah,
like,
that was
because Tom Cruise is going to be the new series villain of the Mission Impossible series.
That would be interesting.
Okay, yeah, I
see,
would like that.
With a new generation trying to fight him.
Yeah, but no one's going to do their own stunts, so that won't happen.
Yeah, the big spoiler of this is
unless
it's not
Jackie
really
Chan.
a final
Jackie Chan versus Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
there you go. DH Jackie Chan.
Did you feel it very like a final in any way? Of they
not
keep,
really.
they kept pushing this
not
final
really.
thing.
I mean,
the final mission.
I didn't. I looked at some of the years that these movies came out, and I'd forgotten how far stretched they are, how far apart they are.
Yeah.
Like they're like 4 or 5 years apart.
Yeah, first one was
just a lot of time, dude. Yeah.
I will give it this credit. They don't try to like say that Ethan Hunt is like 40 years old. It's very much like,
yeah, man,
he's been doing this for 30 years.
30 years.
You know what I mean?
But yeah. Here's the problem with that though, too. It's like I wish that they had given a little bit of just say something about how he's aging and he's slowing down.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as that. He's just like, it's Tom Cruise again, probably like because he wants to keep going until he literally said he's going to keep going until he dies, basically, until his 90s. Which, more power to him, more power to him, great. But this is a character that his body's obviously been through a lot, and I wish we had seen a little bit of that.
Yeah, because his face is starting to look.
His face is starting to droop a little bit.
Yeah,
but, which is fine. But like again, I wish they'd given some type of a shout out to that and been like maybe him like looking in the mirror like, oh shit, there's white hairs or or just like he tries to like keep up and he can as much as well, like something like
I'm sure
he's still running as fast.
I'm sure the next series of films will probably be that because there's going to be no way to hide that.
Because they did that with Bond. I mean, Daniel Craig, it was like his second movie. They're like, you're too old, Bond.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, immediately,
Yeah.
Immediately they were doing that. Yeah, Skyfall was all about him aging.
Yeah, exactly. And not being as sharp as he used to be. And it's...
And the toll that kind of work takes on your body.
Right. And I think that's a impressive thing that they even though they kind of rise up and be like, no, I've still got skills. I'm that old dog.
Yeah, well, I remember there's a great scene, speaking of Skyfall, there's a great scene where Javier Bardem's character, who's the villain, Bond is running across this like moor and he's taking out his Javier Bardem's like henchman, right?
Yeah.
And like he jumps up and he kicks a guy and he keeps moving. And like Javier Bardem sees that and they meet up. They're like, you see, James, all this running, kicking, jumping, it's exhausting, And I was like, oh shit. Like, and they're both like middle-aged men. Like, oh shit. Yeah. It's like, I wish we had gotten something like that in this where it's like, man, aren't you tired of this? Like, I understand you're the only person that can stop this, but I wish he had something like, man, this is like, this again.
Well, even like Ving Rhames has the line when he's at the bomb, he's like, you think I would, age out of this or something like he's like, I'm not going to plan to retire. This was where I plan to go out.
Right, exactly.
Saving the world.
Yeah. But overall, I think it was a great film. What did you guys think of the final battle in the biplanes?
I loved it.
That was awesome because like I didn't expect the second plane in play. And
that was a weird added line where he's like,
I even have two of them.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's like, that's the tongue in cheek that I love about those movies where it's like, okay, he's obviously going to get in that second.
When he said that, I was like, oh, that's how it happened. That's why there's two.
They're biplanes because they have to be analog. I was like, okay, it could have been just a jet,
Well, but what was crazy because like I was watching an interview. I think it was with the director and him as well there. But the director was just talking about, it's like, him up there, he was piloting the plane and, like, filming and acting and all at once. I was like,
crazy. Yeah.
I was like, that.
He's a madman.
Like, I thought they might have, like, washed out a pilot there while he's, like, hanging. But I was like, the fact that that was only him up there, I was like, that makes it even more crazy.
No, it's very impressive. Like, and,
just
wow. This is why he's a producer on these, because he's the only one that will okay it for your star to do this stuff.
Right. Yeah, like a Mission Impossible in the Rogue Nation where he runs up and he grabs on the plane. He's actually hanging on the side.
Yeah.
That madman's actually hanging on the side of the plane as the film. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
dude.
he's, and like no one else will do that. Like, you're right. Like, there's no action stars today.
Not today. Yeah.
That
he actually flew off one of those motorcycles in two. He flew like that 20 feet off the motorcycle.
It's crazy.
I'm joking. That was wise, obviously.
But yeah, it's I mean, it's still very impressive. I think the biplane fight went a little long. I think they could have trimmed it down.
Yeah,
and I guess yet again, it's like he's out there doing real things, so you want to get as much footage as you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But at the same time, like you could have trimmed it a little bit off.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought it was a good because like if you look at Fallout's aerial battle, that was a little lengthy too, but with the ability to get onto the other plane and then having to get control of it and get the small thing. I was like that would not be easy to do.
Yeah.
I like you see the how crazy it is with the wind when he like snaps Gabriel's arm.
Oh yeah.
Like from the shoulder.
Yeah.
Like you just
He's
see
just
it from
screaming,
because he like pulls back his whole weight on the shoulder. I'm like, oh man, that looks brutal. I don't think that's been. That might be the most brutal thing to happen in those movies.
Yeah.
You need something brutal
and
for
even
somebody
his death,
who's killed
just like
two of the team.
He's like cocky, like I've got the parachute. Yeah. He just goes right into the wing,
into the rudder, and cracks his head open and flies out. Yeah,
it's great.
I was like, oh my god,
so good.
I thought he was gonna jump off the plane and grab the parachute.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought too.
Like, there's only one parachute. No, that was another one.
That's what I thought too. I thought he was gonna go after his body and take it off. Or
I was like, why bring that up?
Yeah, it seemed weird. Yeah, but overall, I think it was. I still enjoyed Dead Reckoning.
Absolutely, like, I definitely recommend seeing it in theaters.
Also, like the Dead Reckoning, like I know we talked about it before, but like the opening scene in the submarine that's a terrifying scene. Of like how they fire off a missile and it comes back at them, and the Russians are like, "Oh my god, what's gonna?"
And
it just detonates. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Dead
like,
Reckoning's better.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Like that beginning though, I felt that shouldn't have been the beginning of Dead Reckoning because every beginning of Mission Impossible is Tom Cruise on a whatever mission. Like you get that reveal. I think that kind of takes you out of it for a minute, and then you're thrown into like, okay.
It seems like they were trying to say like this is a different film, than the others. Like there's much more at stake here. He's never faced a villain like this. Basically,
You know what I missed in this one too was
because it was all about the entity.
No,
you never got the full bombastic. Mission Impossible theme.
That one that
I was waiting for that, like especially when the
plane fight. I thought, that was.
Yeah, but instead it's like the slow melodic, like. Dun, dun, dun,
dun.
But like, they wanted it to be a little more dramatic. So I guess. I get it.
I'm just like, come on, man, we're watching an adventure movie.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Again, I think I agree with you, Watson. I think Dead Reckoning is a better film. I still thought this was really well. It did.
Do you have a ranking of all the Mission Impossible movies?
Yeah, so I went through and watched them again. So I would have to definitely say my favorite is Dead Reckoning, for sure. And I skipped 2 because from the last time I saw it, I was like, okay, it's probably okay if I skip this. Yeah,
it's number 1.
Yeah,
it's a fun one.
It's a fun one. It's a fun one. I really like Ghost Protocol because of the Kremlin scene. It was a great film. And then Rogue Nation. Fallout is just such a great movie, man.
Fallout might be my...
That's my number 1.
Yeah. So I have to go Dead Reckoning, Fallout, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, 3, and then the first one. And then I would have to say probably this is my least ranked. Not that it's a bad film. I really liked it, but...
No, all of them are really stellar movies. Yeah. Like for a franchise that's lasted 30 years...
Yeah.
And there hasn't been a real bit like stinker out of the bunch, right? I think Fallout is pretty flawless.
It's a great film.
I liked Rogue Nation a lot.
Yeah.
Ghost Protocol, strangely enough, I really loved because that was the one where it's like all the gadgets weren't working, like the gloves didn't work, masks didn't work, and I like that kind of like. Oh, we have to go back to bare bones kind of thing. And I dug that.
Because they lost everything.
Yeah. And so I dug Ghost
Protocol.
Jeez, I kept saying Ghost Nation. I'm like, that's
the one
right.
with Paula Patton.
Ghost Nation.
Yeah. And I think that was the J.J. Abrams directed one, I think.
No, J.J. was 3.
Yeah, this was Brad
Bird did Brad Bird did that one.
I had forgotten that Emilio Estevez was in the first one.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
there was huge rumors that he was going to be back for this one.
Dude, I wish. Come on,
because they were like, you didn't see him die, you see him go blind.
Yeah, why didn't you do that, dude?
And it's like the entity could have been in reality his character, because he was the tech guy.
They put the entity's eyes in his eye socket.
Yeah,
that would have been sick.
Like, that was a lot of people.
That would have been sick.
That would have been too far. Like I could see
that.
If he's got little screens in his eyes,
I can see that maybe in a future film when
right.
they get a little bit more crazy. Like
yeah.
Well,
like, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
He's not fighting Cyborg.
It's not the singularity yet.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Well,
maybe like if he loses the entity, like the cultists steal it back.
Oh my god!
And then we put it in Emilio Estevez's
and they'd
brain.
be like, "Bitch, why didn't you fucking smash that thing, dude? Like, what are you doing?"
And then he'll be like, "My bad."
Yeah. But that was the whole thing, is because the entity's logo was kind of like an eyeball kind of thing. They're like, is that Emilio?
That would have been sick, dude.
Would have been. But.
Or it's John Reno. He survived the helicopter crash.
Yeah.
I would love.
I love the entity's look. It wasn't so much. They didn't use it so much in this one, but in the first one, it was like the eye of Sauron.
With
the code around it and that noise it made.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, no, they did lack on the presence of it, because I liked in Dead Reckoning when they were at the club and
I was just thinking the same thing.
Appeared on the walls.
Right.
Like,
it was more. That was the thing. It was like. They said like it was more omnipresent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now it was like, it's taking care. It's trying to go with the nuclear code, we can pretty much do whatever we want.
Right.
Yeah,
it said like, we're here for another buyer, and it pops up above them. That's great.
Yeah, and
very menacing.
That's the main thing I would have loved though for this one, is if it started using his team members' voices again, like it was using Benji's.
Yeah, we didn't get that.
I like that manipulation of like, you can't trust anything now.
Right, right. Yeah, nothing technology-wise.
But I still just like
if the whole team had to go like analog for this last one, I think that would have been great.
I still like this one,
like the 1960s,
more than Dead Reckoning, only because the action was a bit. It was more enticing because I was kind of ruined by the. They show the bike stunt. I was like, that was cool, but I was like, okay, I didn't.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was the big.
Like if I didn't see anything for that, I would have been much more like, oh, this is crazy. But I don't know. It just seemed the intensity kind of died down after that.
Well, like the bike stunt,
the train was more of a cool stunt,
right,
than the jump, because he had to jump from, and they actually were dropping that train. So I was like, that's cool. So I don't know. I just felt like there was more for me to chew on in this one than the last one. So.
And the bike stunt looked better in like the making of than it did in the final version, because they had to they CGI'd all that.
They cut around it,
fog and stuff in there. It just looked looked weird.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, Final Reckoning. Go see it. Please support movies. I mean, Tom Cruise, he is who he is, but he does love film.
Making movies.
Yeah, making movies, and it's all about storyline with him. It's all about cool stuff, and putting cool stuff into his films. And I'm all here for that. So, and he's all about practical effects for a lot of his stuff, his own stunts.
Well, he said he's already got an idea for Top Gun 3 and Days of Thunder 2.
Yeah. I didn't hear about the Days of Thunder, but I heard about Top Gun 3.
Tom Cruise is like,
I mean, after you said
Top Gun 3?
After what you said?
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder. Okay.
His NASCAR movie.
It's basically going to be Top Gun 2, but
which cars, they're doing with Formula 1 with F1 right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm like, okay.
Oh man, he's really going to race.
He probably is. He probably is.
But what I would love to see a Cocktail 2. I want to see Risky Business 2. I want to see.
You can get all that, dude.
He's got a
Legend 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Him wearing the same.
I mean, though the thing is, I love Legend for Tim Curry, and I don't know. Unless they could get someone to really.
Yeah, who's the modern day Tim Curry?
That I don't know.
It'll probably be Bill Skarsgård.
I mean, I love Bill Skarsgård, but he's no Tim Curry. That's just my
But I'm just saying he played.
That's fair. That is fair, but he wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think. I think it would have to be just. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know who would be another Tim Curry though. That's hard.
Yeah. Speaking of Mission Impossible, one of the directors, Christopher McQuarrie, said that he kind of was scared working with Tom Cruise because he pushes it to the limit.
Yeah.
So he's like, he said when you're making a Tom Cruise movie, it's not Tom Cruise going, here's how you do it. It's Tom Cruise empowering you and saying, what do you want to do with the spotlight the first time it's turned on you? It's incredibly intense, incredibly clarifying. So he was just like, he had to pull back on some things because he knew that Tom Cruise was going to push to the limit. And he's like, I don't want Tom Cruise dying on my watch. It's I'm all here for it, man. He loves what he does, and you can see it in his work, and it's fine.
I would have loved, even though the movie was not good, I would have loved to see how he would grow in a dark universe, because that would have been interesting.
Yeah, it would have been cool, man. That was another failed project from Universal, unfortunately. Yeah. It's weird because they put a lot of effort into that first film, and when it didn't do well, they just scrapped the whole thing.
But that pushed him to make Top Gun 2, because it was like a big bomb, and he was like, "Oh,
yeah." Well, I think though, the movie, if people didn't expect the movie to be like a horror, old timey horror, you know, the Mummy type, or even Brendan Fraser-esque, even, if they just this is an adventure action movie, I think that would have been a fun dark universe series, even though it wouldn't be dark, but it would be just fun to see him take on all these monsters.
Yeah, they definitely went a little more serious than it probably should have with that film. It probably should have been more of a Brendan Fraser as the Mummy type film, where it's an adventure comedy. An adventure action film.
But then, the thing with if you set that one like that, that means all the other
have to be
monsters have to be dealt that way.
Yeah, that's true. So that's hard.
That they work.
Yeah. So it's either you do that and it kind of looks goofy because you're on the risk, or you go serious like they did and it still bombs.
Yeah, and it looks like they're now it's they're letting Robert Eggers do. He's doing a werewolf movie next. Mm-hmm. It's they're oh, give him the Dark Universe stuff, because he did Nosferatu so well. It's all right, let's see what else he got.
Yeah. Think we'll see some werewolf dong we we saw some vampire dong in Nosferatu.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I would I know his character died in Collateral, right?
Yes. Yeah,
okay. Because
Collateral was great.
I would have loved to see more of that, or maybe a prequel, but I know he's on the older end now, so it'd be hard to do. But unless they de-aged him the whole movie or something, but I think he's still able to deliver. So I'd love to see him get another property and see how he can change it or make it work. So
that's my briefcase.
That's the series.
Yeah,
that's my briefcase.
My briefcase,
and he just chases people down.
Yeah.
He loves to run.
Does love running. Final Reckoning, go see it.
Yeah,
support it.
Also, if you guys, I know Lilo and Stitch has taken a lot of the 4DX theaters, but if you do get a chance to or find a showing of Mission Impossible in 4DX, I'd say go see it.
Did you see it in 4DX?
No, I wanted to, but
I would be shocked if you did.
No, that's one I would risk going into, because it seemed like that would be fun.
Yeah,
the planes. Yeah,
and
I know what we're doing next week.
But the thing is, Lilo and Stitch has taken all those up. So they only have one showing late at night, at 10, and I'm not seeing a 3-hour movie at 10. Yeah. 4DX.
Let's do it. Let's go eat a bunch of chili first.
They have Lilo and Stitch in 4DX.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Disney is we want people to have fun too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know you've seen this film before, but now you can get the thing sprayed in your face and stuff like that. We'll see, whatever.
When Stitch shoots a basketball at that guy's face, just get fucking hit.
Well, I never saw the original, so it's you
didn't? Okay.
No,
it's a good film.
No, I'm sure it is. If people love it, people love the show. Yeah. People obviously are loving this new thing they put out. I don't know if it's different in any way, but I'm sure.
We'll live stream you watching it, and we'll see the tears roll down your cheeks.
Yeah, there you go. And Netflix also released a bunch of trailers.
Yeah.
Watson, you said that they took up the
they were doing an event yesterday at the Forum. I think it's the Tudum Fest. So they were doing basically having all their marketing department on going crazy, dropping trailers, having full cast show up. They had a performance by Lady Gaga because she's in season 2 of Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Jenna Ortega was there on stage with with Lady Gaga.
Did they sing an interpretation of Tadum as a song?
I wish. No.
See?
I don't know what
Netflix, hire me.
There you go.
See?
But it was their big, like, hey, man, stick with us. We got more stuff coming kind of big festival.
Yeah, and so some of the trailers they dropped today, we'll just go through them. Stranger Things 5 trailer dropped. This is supposed to be coming out in November. I thought it was originally this summer, but I guess they pushed it back.
Yet again, I think it was actor strikes.
Mm-hmm.
All that,
Millie Bobby Brown getting married. Like, because all those kids are now, like, 25, which is crazy.
Are you guys looking forward to Stranger Things 5?
I really dug season 4. I thought it, season 3 was a little goofy because that was the Russians and everything. It was very it was like,
come on, yeah.
I get it. It was like Red Dawn, like, because every season kind of vamps over, goes over something 80s genre-y. And so, it was like a little of the Red Dawn stuff. They had a little bit of The Thing in there as well, like little Cronenberg kind of stuff, horror stuff. And then this last season, with Vecna being introduced, and like it was real horror elements in last season. I thought they did a really good job of like getting back to the roots and all the stuff with Hopper in Russia, and I thought it was done really well. So going forward, and everyone loves Eddie, and the whole hell, what's it called? Hellfire Club. Like I think that did really well. So I'm interested in where they go with the Vecna character and like that whole storyline, and he's now trying to take over the real world kind of thing. So
he's actually trying to launch nukes.
Yeah. It's the entity again.
He's the Kim Jong-un of the underworld.
Yeah.
Just launch them bio nukes.
Yeah. Well, it's the 80s, so he's the Ayatollah, right?
Yeah. He's got the birthmark on us.
Oh yeah.
I've only seen the first season.
Oh really?
Yeah. I was just like,
you can honestly, dude, you can skip the second and third.
Well, the thing was,
it's they're a
little
okay.
Weaker, yeah.
Well, no, I think I caught some of the last one where they're escaping the Russian prison, and I just felt like it was like this is a lot. Where it's just like, okay, you guys are just
they
doing too much now.
They definitely go a little.
And I'm sure the series gets you there to that point.
Yeah,
but like. From that jump for me, just seeing this is like, what's going on?
Well,
like,
Watson and I are talking about in season 3, the Russians have somehow, under an American mall, have built a massive underground base.
They've infiltrated Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana. Yeah. And not only have they built this massive underground base and moved their personnel in there, they're also walking around in Soviet uniforms in the base in Indiana.
It was very Death Star-y.
Yeah, during the Reagan Cold War era, where the tension was so high that they were about to nuke each other again.
Yep.
I was like, what? Okay. It got a little. I wish that they just went overboard. It got a little too goofy. I wish they just had.
I feel like they knew they were going silly.
Yeah. I wish they just had like Russian agents. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
And then the whole like Chips Ahoy thing, they really try to make that a thing. And I was like seeing that everywhere. I was like, okay, enough. It's just.
Yeah,
it's where two characters work. It's not. What is this?
They were pushing the merchandise a lot.
I think I might wait till they put out the final stuff. Or maybe I'll start watching again to get there before the premiere of the.
It's
just the movie length things. I was like, I don't need a movie length episodes of the show.
They did do that. What season was it? They had like.
It was 11... the last season was that one that did that.
Oh no! There's like one episode. I think it was like season 2 or 3 where Elle goes to Chicago.
Yeah, like season 2 because that's an abandoned storyline. Yeah. Where it's basically the X-Men. She links up Morlocks. She links up with other people who she was in this base with, which we never hear from ever again.
I think they were planning to do a spin-off.
That's
show
what I mean.
They were just like
just an abandoned storyline.
Yeah.
And then Matthew Modine's alive. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How's that happen? He died, I guess. He gets leaped on by the thing, and then you don't know.
Yeah,
but I was like, how?
He's got a crazy scar now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's season 2 and 3 are out there, and then they try to do a lot with different characters. That pizza guy, which is, it's like, okay,
that's the main thing for me. There's too many
yeah, it's
characters.
It's like calm down.
Yeah, the pizza guy was very much like, Fast Time at Richmond High. Okay, we got to do a reference to that. Right. So let's get
They're definitely throwing a lot in there that doesn't always work and doesn't always go anywhere. It's fine, but it doesn't. Yeah,
whoever's doing the casting for that show does an amazing job. Yeah, because everyone that comes out of that show is really good.
Yeah, for sure.
The brother, was it Billy, who's the bad guy? Mm-hmm. Like, that guy was great. The guy who plays Eddie, who's now in Fantastic Four, is really good. Like, the whole cast of kids, it's always hard when you're casting children.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of them do such a great job. Right. And they're still doing a great job.
Even the pizza guy enjoyed him, but it was like they oversaturated.
His character was
it's like, okay, enough of that. I wish they just introduced him, but then he goes on this whole adventure with them, and it's like, okay, yeah. So, but I mean, it's I like you said, I really enjoyed this last season. I wish that they had gone like the first season was amazing, and I kind of wish that they had just gone on to like combine the second and third season, cut a lot of it out.
Yeah.
Cut out the whole Russian storyline thing. Maybe the Mind Flayer's in there. They had and then finally it's Vecna who's revealed. So I wish they had just kind of condensed the second and third season. Yeah,
second and third season definitely could have made it into one.
Because the only good really thing that really stands out in my mind about the third season was the final battle in the mall. Yeah. Where the Mind Flayer comes out. Like, that's the only thing I can really remember and I really enjoyed. Yeah. The rest of it was kind of like, I hated it, but I hated to feel like this, but I was like kind of slogging it out watching the episodes. Like, okay, let me just get through this because I'm a fan of the show. But and I hate feeling like that. Like, I got to get through this. Like, I shouldn't have to feel like that. I should be like, oh, I can't wait to consume this. Watch it. So, but
it's crazy to think that show's been on now for 10 years.
Long time. Yeah, 2016 I think is when it first dropped the first time. Summer. I think. Yeah. And it was just like this little nothing show that they didn't know was gonna work or not.
But also, they did the gaps between the seasons were so long that
it
was just like
very long.
Technically, the show's been only like 3 or 4 years,
something like that.
Right? Yeah. But everyone looks so much older.
No, that's obvious because in between the production of each season, obviously they're going to be growing up. So it's just like okay.
David Harbour has been in 2 Marvel movies and a Hellboy since they started this. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then so they also dropped the Frankenstein trailer.
Yes. This looks so good. Yeah. Like, it looks like I love Guillermo del Toro stuff. I'm just gonna just be blubbing about Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro is awesome, man.
And like, I mean, I get very like what's the Crimson House? Crimson Peak?
Peak,
no. Peak, yeah.
Yeah, the horror movie he did. Yeah.
I was disappointed with that one, but
what disappointed you about it?
I thought it was going to be more of a. I know it was like gothic horror, but I thought it was going to be more horror, like ghosts haunting the house and things like that. That's not that at all. No.
Oh, I thought that's what it was. I never watched it. So.
No, it's very
it's beautifully done.
It's looks beautiful. Like the shots and everything is great. And then just like the climactic twist and story, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And not to knock the movie, but as I say, wasn't. I think his other stuff is way better, stronger than that one. And I don't think it did that great in theaters when it came out. Yeah,
no, it didn't.
Yeah, it was kind of there and gone.
Yeah.
But Oscar Isaac leads this as Victor Frankenstein, and it seems like it's more of a. It's focusing more on Victor Frankenstein creating this monster, and it seems like it comes back to get him at some point. Cause
that's right out of the book of them going to the to the ice cap and everything.
Right.
And I love that we don't get a look at the monster really. Yeah. It's Jacob Aorti, who I think that guy's like 6'6" or something in real life.
Yeah,
I think he's a really tall.
But do they have him in a? He looks broader, so like
there's
Hulk. Big
prosthetics going there,
or maybe Hyde from Extraordinary Gentleman type of prosthetics or something. I don't know.
I mean, it's great costuming where he's just got that crazy hood going on. Like it's very, very like thematic and like like you see Oscar Isaac wearing these like bright red leather gloves in scenes. I was like, oh, okay, that's a choice.
Well, that was another. That was one thing I really liked about Crimson Peak because color was a big part of it.
Yeah,
with the red and blood and like just crimson, obviously.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was like, okay, he's pulling some of that kind of theme or just visuals into this story. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear Oscar Isaac. Maybe they'll show him deliver the line or not, or if maybe they won't. But like if it's alive because of how he delivers in Robin Hood at the end. He's like, I declare Robert of Locksley. Oh no! And I was like, that's my favorite part of that movie. So I was like, I hope he gets to yell. I think Osgood has a great projection. So I was like,
now here's the thing with that line, because that's from the Universal classic movie.
Oh, really? So
it's not like written in the book. Like
that's true. Yeah.
So I think
he's doing off the book.
That might be because Universal is doing their own Frankenstein remake right now. So I think that might be like a Universal might be like, you can't use that line. You know. I don't know. That's a little. It might be too on the nose.
I just wish they gave the Dark Universe to Gilmore. Just let him do it.
I know.
Yeah.
He would loved it. He would love to play at that sandbox.
I mean, he technically already did Shape of Water, and then
which is like
yeah, man. And he's very much into the gothic feel of it. You know, even Frankenstein's lab is still that very like 1930ish.
Tesla,
man, with the electricity rods everywhere and the machinery and it the very gothic looking.
And like I love like there's some quick views in that trailer of like just like bodies kind of like in weird positions in the lab, like where their backs are like opened up and stuff. Like it's very Hellraiser-esque. I was just like, this is interesting. This is definitely not for kids.
Yeah, man. No. I wish that they would do a reboot. Imagine that, a reboot of the classic monsters, Guillermo del Toro heading it. That'd be awesome, man. Holy shit. And then so they also dropped the trailer for Happy Gilmore Part 2. Which is follow-up to the 1990s Happy Gilmore starring Adam Sandler.
Yes.
It looks fun. It's Adam Sandler, so he's gonna make it funny. He's gonna make it his own thing. I'm looking forward to it because I love Happy Gilmore.
I am looking forward to it, but I can tell from that trailer that it's just gonna be cameo heavy. Like
it's a lot of callback.
Well, you know how they 100%. Well, not even callback. It's just I see newer actors popping up as just small appearances in there. And the thing is, you know how what happened with Ben Stiller's The Supermodel?
Zoolander 2.
Zoolander 2. That was just cameo after cameo. And I was like, I
exactly
don't want
what I was
that.
thinking. Or like Anchorman 2 was kind of the same deal.
Yeah, so I'm like, I was just like, I hope they don't follow that same route, or that they needed to justify 2 with pulling these celebrities in there. It's like, people come to see them because they're in it. So I hope it's just fans who are, obviously from the first one.
Yeah.
So I hope it is good, but like I've been disappointed with sequels before for these types of movies.
Yeah. Comedy's really hard to sequel. Like it's hard to capture that magic twice, especially now it's 30 years later.
True.
That style of comedy isn't really a thing anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
true.
I mean, I think that might be why it may be a success because of that, because it's nostalgic. Yeah. So people, who grew up watching that are gonna watch it, and because maybe that might be the advantage of it. Like you said, that kind of comedy doesn't really exist anymore. Yeah. So maybe people are craving it, and they're gonna watch it because of that. So it might bring it back.
I think you're right. I think it's like it's more nostalgia though. It's more like you're not gonna get new viewers for this.
Yeah.
True.
It's gonna be guys that remember.
That's why it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
But I think though, it might have been interesting to see like, he takes on a new sport for this movie. I know it's gimmicky. I know that's gimmicky, but
that's better than rehashing.
He's got to get better at golf again. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, we already watched that the first time.
Yeah,
because he couldn't do a short game and all that.
Or like maybe he goes back to hockey and then Shooter McGavin, tries to fuck with
Shooter goes into hockey.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be hilarious. I mean,
he buys his team.
Yeah, there you go. So. Turns it into like a major league type of story. Like, I want you guys to fail.
There you go.
Or something. But I don't know.
TM Stanley.
TM.
Netflix, come on, boy. I can write.
I think it's hard with these kind of sequels because it's you want more of the same, but at the same time, if you're not doing anything with the character, it's like why are we jumping back and seeing this guy 30 years later?
But also, like I hope current writing today, sometimes they pull back on jokes and like it's not going to be the same.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
humor as the original, so people might not like it as much.
Yeah, I mean, I think they, if they do that, people are going to be turned off by that.
Yeah,
because it's just another modern day kind of
like we're getting the son of Chubbs in this.
Yeah,
of Carl Weathers' character,
right? It's just
also missing a hand.
But I think if they lean into it like it was the 90s, people maybe might appreciate that. It's like, I missed this kind of comedy. It's just, so we'll see how they work it out.
Yeah.
But and they also dropped the One Piece Chopper first look trailer. Mm-hmm. Chopper is apparently a character from One Piece. Have you?
I've not delved into the One Piece as much as others. I know of Chopper, I've seen
him, but I don't
seen him. It
seems like he's more like a mascot of the crew, right?
Yeah, and he's a doctor, I think.
Yeah, is that what he is?
Yeah, well, he's like the medic of the crew.
There you go.
And it just weirdly happens to be a part reindeer person.
Something.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna find that in the world of One Piece.
Yeah, because we've already seen there's fish people and there's all kinds.
Should have Dan on to explain.
Yeah, we should.
What exactly
he's our One Piece expert.
Yeah.
I mean, I read. We have. I was listening to one of our episodes earlier today we talked about One Piece. We had Dan on to talk about One Piece. Mm-hmm. Specifically in the Netflix series, which I really loved. I thought it was well done.
Yeah,
So I think it's in good hands, and I'm sure that whatever this Chopper character is going to be great.
It looks great.
The
teaser is very cute.
Yeah. And finally, they dropped the Wednesday season 2 trailer.
Yeah,
very fun.
More than a trailer. It was the first 6 minutes of the season.
So she's apparently after a serial killer, and she gets captured on purpose by him. And it looks like, I don't know if she wants to stop him or take revenge. I don't know. It seems like she's interested in this case.
I mean, it seems like she probably handles that immediately and then
moves on to something else, right?
I don't know what they're going with it, but you see already her power set is kind of glitching.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I just
tell us, Chad.
I don't want her to have supernatural powers right.
It's weird, right? Yeah.
See, well, I didn't watch the first season because and it was mainly because I was like, am I gonna see the Addams Family or am I just seeing Wednesday? Because I like the Addams Family. I like seeing all them interact and go about their lives and things like that. I don't want to just focus on one part of the family. And as much as Wednesday is fun, she's kind of boring to me. And
you do get, in season 1, you do get a lot of the Addams Family show up.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll have to check that out.
They're creepy. And they're kooky.
They're creepy and they're kooky.
Yeah.
They're mysterious and spooky.
And seriously spooky. But also, I think they need to make her paler because she doesn't seem as pale as Wednesday should be.
Well, she's definitely, because she's Latina, so she has some melatonin.
Melatonin
in her skin. No, but I know what you mean. But Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
To me, looks more like Wednesday Addams.
Yeah.
When I think Wednesday Addams, I think.
But they
Christina
even
Ricci,
paled her up. As a kid,
that's what I mean.
So.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And if they did that for her, I could see Jenna as Wednesday a bit better. But I just need more makeup to.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah. She definitely
has. Is Morticia pale in this as well?
No. Yeah, she's played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, so she's slightly pale.
I guess if they're making them look similar to each other, then that's whatever.
Yeah.
I like the more
undead
vampire
I know what you mean.
Right.
When the
dead Gomez is Luis Guzman.
Yeah.
Who's
I know what you mean, though. So when I think Wednesday Addams, I think the same thing. Pale skin, very much.
And Morticia, she looks like a vampire to me. And the different, the comparison between Wednesday and Pugsley is he just has normal flesh tone, and I always thought that was interesting, but now it's you don't really have that at all.
Yeah.
So it's okay, well.
Yeah, I still enjoy the second season. I think Jenna Ortega's killing it, but I'm going to watch the second.
Yeah,
second
season. This is Tim Burton again.
Yeah, I like the take on it for sure.
Yeah, I love how he does. He always, I think he gets glee from showing Suburbia and showing the twisted side of Suburbia, everything
Edward Scissorhands.
And exactly. In this, it was Wednesday going to this school, which was like kind of like an X-Men kind of school.
The Nevermore.
Yeah, where everyone's kind of a little peculiar, and but like showing that she's the dark gothic one that shows up to this school. Like I don't know, I dig all the kind of weirdness that he throws in it. Yeah, and it's very old school Tim Burton.
Right, exactly.
Who directed like the first two movies? The
Barry Levinson, the guy who did Men in Black.
Men in Black. Oh, okay, because like that's the one thing I just from the trailer we watched today. I don't know. I just didn't have that Addams Family vibe. Maybe I'm just biased because of those two movies.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's Addams Family to me.
Well, that's a very stylized look and feel to those.
Very so maybe I don't know. It's just it feels weird to see Tim Burton's version. I guess, but I
think you might really like the first season.
I'll check it out.
I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it.
Since you guys said the family's in it too, then I'll be
it's good. You'll like it.
I'll give it a C.
And then finally, great news for our podcast. We are on YouTube.
What?
Enter the Nerdom channel is
finally
as we're going along. We're finally loading episodes on. I think we're at 22 right now, 31. I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah, but we're on 31 episodes loaded onto the YouTube channel, and it's just audio. With some of the thumbnails you'll see from our Instagram account. And just go on there and check us out. Leave us a like.
Yeah, please subscribe. Please
comment.
All that stuff really helps. The notification bell, ding it.
Yeah. if you want to like it and you want to comment, that's great. If you want to comment,
you just want to start the playlist and let them play.
Yeah, if you want to thumbs down it and then talk shit to us in the comments, that helps us too. So hey, whatever.
Just do the playlist and keep it going all night long.
Exactly. I think our podcast actually has like something like 67 episodes, so we're almost halfway done. But we'll get it done. We're trying to get it done before Nostalgia Con, so certainly by this Friday, hopefully we'll be loaded, including this episode when the time comes. So. Yeah, but so you can always hit us up on. But you can always listen on Spotify
or Apple
Podcasts. Exactly.
And it's fun to be on YouTube.
Exactly.
So that's youtube.com/Enter The Nerdom.
Enter the
/Enter The Nerdom. Yes.
At Enter The Nerdom. Chad, you want to take us out?
Of course. Thanks, guys, for listening to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. If you aren't already, please like and subscribe and follow us on all the social medias that you have or don't have. I mean, you can just make accounts. Make them and sign up and follow us only. So that gives people an idea that we're better. We're great when we're number one.
Yeah.
And only be our fans.
Only be our fans. Make your own fan art of us and stuff. Well, maybe them, not me. You don't have to.
No, definitely make them check. Definitely make them check. We want to see that.
Yes, and as we always say here, enter the nerddom. Exit the
here we go.
Pasadena Con verse stuff and into the next con stuff. Hey man, you could do these anytime you want.
We'll see you at Nostalgia Con.
See you at Nostalgia Con.
Bring your suggestions for our exits.
Yeah. Give me some zingers to go out on, because these are not getting better.
No,
they're getting worse.
3 years in.
3 years in, I care so less about the outro.